Hi dear. So last class we have seen about this heterotrophic nutrition, right? Heterotrophic nutrition is nothing but it depends upon other animals for food material. Okay. So based on the availability, how it is accessed, and type of material they are getting, food material they are getting. So heterotrophic nutrition is broadly classified into three types: saprophytic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, and also holozoic nutrition. Saprophytic means what? It depends upon the dead and decay animals, right? Parasitic means without killing the other organism, it lives along with us, right? It will get food from that organism. For example, lice. In our hair, you will have lice, no? So it will not affect us, right? But it will grow, right? Along with us, it will also grow. Okay, it get food from us. Okay. Next, holozoic nutrition is it is a mode of nutrition in which five processes are involved, right? What are those five processes? Ingestion, next digestion, absorption, assimilation, and digestion. So all these five processes involved in the holozoic nutrition. So last class we have seen about the how it has been injected, digested, and absorbed in a unicellular organism, right? Like amoeba and paramecium, how this process is going on, we have seen in the last class. And today we are going to see this how this food is digested, get into a body, digested, absorbed, and it is used for the various purposes, and waste is ejected. uh, it's a long process. We are going to study this and how we are getting nutrition from this process. Okay, we are going to see about the digestive system in human today. Okay, so how the first I'll give a brief idea about this digestive system in human. That is, first intake. So we used to get the food through the mouth, right? Intake of the food is happening here, right? It will enter this mouth and it will move to this long pipe which is known as the food pipe, and then it enters the stomach. From there it enters into the small intestine. It will be connected to the small intestine. From the small intestine it will move to the large intestine, and the waste material will be excreted removed out through the anus. Okay, this is the overall process. Okay, so this is mouth. It also called as buccal cavity, and you will be having the glands here. Okay, glands will be present on above this food pipe and also below this. Okay, and this is food pipe is otherwise called as esophagus, and you are having a sphincter arrangement here. This is your stomach, this is your pancreas, this is your liver, gallbladder, small intestine, and this is large intestine. This is your appendix, and this is called rectum, last part of the large intestine before anus. It is called a rectum, and again you will have the sphincter arrangement here, and this is your anus. Okay, so to start with, we are having one more word here, right? Epiglottis. Okay, epiglottis nothing but a valve like structure. Okay, so we are taking the food inside this mouth, right? We are taking the food here. If you see this, I have drawn here only the food pipe, but here you will have the windpipe also, right? Windpipe also. Usually we'll breathe, inhale the air through our nostrils, right? Not only through nostrils, we'll inhale, we will get some air through the mouth also. Okay, so a valve like structure. Actually this, if you see from front side, you will have the windpipe at the front, and then behind the windpipe only you will have a food pipe. Okay, so you will have a epiglottis here, so that when the food is getting enter the mouth, sorry, when the food moves from mouth to this food pipe, a valve is there. It allows the food to move into the food pipe directly. Okay, a valve is present here. Okay, it will not allow the food to enter the windpipe. Okay, a valve like structure is there. It will allow the food only to the it will move like this. It will move like this into the food pipe. Okay, so that that valve is called epiglottis. Okay, which control the movement of food only to the food pipe. Okay, next one. uh, then, you're having a small intestine. The small intestine, this length of this, it is coiled and it is kept here, right? It is 6 meters long. Okay, this is 6 meter long, where the maximum of the digestion process taking only at this small intestine, digestion as well as absorption. Okay, and this large intestine, this large intestine length is 1.5 meter, and this total digestive system starts from this buccal cavity, from mouth to anus. Okay, from mouth to anus. It is totally 9 meter long. Okay, it is totally 9 meter long. We can say this total path, this from mouth to anus, as a alimentary canal or gut. Okay, it can be called as alimentary canal or gut. It is totally 9 meter long. Okay, okay, then that's all. We'll move to some of the terms and definitions when involved in the digestive process. While come across the digestive system, you'll be knowing these words. So before that, just be thorough with what is that. Okay, so we used to say the enzyme is acting on the food. Enzyme is acting on the food. What is that enzyme called? Enzyme is nothing but, enzymes are juice like substance. Okay, what is that? Juice like substance secreted by organs in the living organism, which act as a biocatalyst. Catalyst means what? It increases this process, right? Biocatalyst in the biochemical reaction inside the body. Biochemical reaction means what? The reaction taking place inside the cell. Okay, so which is acted upon by the catalyst, biocatalyst. This catalyst, this catalyst is called your enzyme. That is nothing but a juice like substance. That's it. Enzymes are juice like substance secreted by organs in the living organism, which act as a biocatalyst in the biochemical reaction inside the body. See, for example, if you look at our favorite food, okay, suddenly your mouth will be watering, right? That is nothing but your enzyme. Okay, it secretes, right? It secretes, right? So it secretes some saliva, juice, water, right? Like that. Okay, next, peristaltic movement. What is the peristaltic movement means? So how the food is moved from mouth to this food pipe to stomach, stomach to small intestine to large intestine, and then pushed out. How it happens? By gravity. When food enters the mouth and it suddenly fall into this food pipe? No. If you are lying and lie down and you are eating, means how the food will enter? It will move by gravity. Or you are you are in the upside down position, your legs are there here, and your head will be at the ground. So if you are in the upside down position, if you are eating, if you are having something and if you are eating, will the food move? How this food is getting into the parts? Okay, that is by the contraction and expansion. Whatever position may be, these things will contract and expand and it will go. The food will enter. Okay, how? For example, see, this is your food pipe. Food will enter here. So your food is here. The food is here. It is expanded. It will contract and expand, and again it will contract and expand. It will be moving like this. Okay, contraction, expansion. This continuous contraction and expansion. You can imagine this. You can take a wet cloth or wet towel. If you squeeze like this, you will be squeezing like this. No, the water will come, move, right? like this the food will be moved here by contraction and expansion. Okay, that movement is called peristaltic movement. The contraction and expansion of walls of the food pipe and other organs of digestive system to move the food along the gut is called peristaltic movement. So from the mouth to the anus, it will be moving in the same manner, contraction and expansion. Okay, that movement is called peristaltic movement. Okay, next, sphincter. Sphincter is a circular muscular structure, okay, which controls the movement of substance through them. Okay, it is actually a voluntary muscle. Okay, so if you give signals, it will open. Okay, whenever it is needed, it will open and move the food particles. Okay, normally they remain closed. When the movement is required, they'll open, they'll move the food particles. Okay, there are many sphincters in the gut. That is where you can have, if the food wants to move from the food pipe to stomach, a sphincter is there. Circular muscular. So we'll have this circular muscular cells will be there. That is called a sphincter, which controls the movement of food. If required, it will open and it will allow the food to enter the stomach. Once it is digested, partially digested, then it will here in the exit of the stomach, you will have a sphincter muscles there, and it will allow the food to enter into the small intestine. Okay, please bear with my diagram. So I roughly draw that one. Okay, so where we are. Okay, so sphincters are circular muscular structure which controls the movement of the substance, that is your food particles. Okay, which controls the movement of the substance through them. Normally they are remain closed. When the movement is required, they open. They are called. There are many sphincters at the gut. Okay, so here also, before this anus, here in the last part of the large intestine, you will have a sphincter muscles which control the whenever we it's a voluntary measure. Whenever we feel that we have to pass the toilet, then only it will open, right? Okay, so until that it will be closed only. Okay, so next term is emulsification. Emulsification is the process of breaking down the large fat globules into smaller globules, okay, which make it easy for the enzyme to function on the digested food. That is nothing but, for example, the fat molecules like this means it is very difficult for the enzymes to act upon this. Okay, it will not do the work efficiently. So if you break this large globules fat into smaller one means, so it is easy for the enzyme to act, right? It is easy for the enzyme to react with that, right? So to increase the surface area, for the increasing the efficiency of the enzyme, we are breaking down the large fat globules into smaller globules. Okay, which make it easy for the enzyme to function and digest food. Or you can say it in a simpler word, the process of increasing the surface area of fats in the small intestine by grouping them into small clusters. That is one big piece into small pieces. So all the enzymes will be acting over that. Okay, clear on this? So these will be used in the digestive system. So first, I'll come to this first, where what are the process taking place in the mouth. Okay, so we are going to see the process that taking place in the mouth. So first we'll take the food here, mouth. So intake of food take place in the mouth part, right? Intake of the food takes place in the mouth part. What is the purpose of the what is there in the mouth? Teeth and tongue, right? Teeth and tongue. Teeth helps us to break down the food into smaller pieces. Okay, so while chewing, the big particles will be converted into smaller pieces. Okay, and what is the purpose of tongue? That's for tasting and rolling the food. That means once we take the food, the salivary glands start secreting saliva. Okay, saliva. Common name is saliva we are using. What is the enzyme present in that saliva? That is your salivary amylase. What is it? The saliva contains the enzyme called, enzyme is nothing but your juice that contains juice salivary amylase. Okay, then break down starch. What is mean by starch? Our food, right, into simple sugar in the form of glucose. Okay, clear on this? So this is happening in the mouth. So food is intake through the mouth, where the food particle is broken down into smaller pieces using the teeth. And this tongue, what is the purpose of tongue? Means it will mix the food thoroughly with the saliva. Okay, that is the rolling of the food, and it can move to all parts of the mouth, and it will mix thoroughly with the saliva. Okay, in the salivary glands, what is the enzyme secreted? Salivary amylase. Okay, next, then the food will move to the next part, that is your food pipe. Food pipe is nothing but your esophagus. Okay, taking food from mouth to the stomach by peristaltic movement, that is continuous contraction, alternate contraction and expansion. Okay, contraction and expansion. It takes the food to the stomach by contraction and expansion. That next, then the food after entering from the food pipe, it enters the stomach. Stomach is a large organ. It expands when food enters in it. So you know that if you eat, you can see this expansion of your stomach, right? So it is a large organ. It expands expands when food enters in it. Okay. So what gland is present in the stomach? Stomach means gastric glands. Okay, what is that? Gastric glands. It produce what? This glands only will produce the what is that? Enzymes, right? So this gastric glands, what it produce? It produce the gastric juice. Okay, like salivary glands produce saliva, salivary amylase, gastric glands produce gastric juice. Okay, this juice contains HCl, hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus. Okay, what does it gastric juice contain? It contains hydrochloric acid, HCl, pepsin and mucus. Okay, it is present in the walls of the stomach. So all these glands will be present in the walls of the stomach, and it secretes gastric juice which contains HCl, pepsin and mucus. What is the purpose of HCl? It makes the medium acid. Okay, it makes the medium acid and facilitate the action of enzyme pepsin. So it has to react no. So it makes the food material in the acid form, acidic form, so that the pepsin enzyme will react easily with the food materials. Okay, next, pepsin. It breaks down the proteins into amino acids. So what is the work of this pepsin? It breaks down the proteins into amino acids. It's a complex one. This is a simpler one. Okay. Next, what is the purpose of mucus? Since it acid is secreted, no, acid is there, no, so to protect the inner wall of the stomach, mucus is there. Okay, it protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of acid under normal condition. Okay, so you know that most of the people used to say this acidity, right? If the acid secretion is more, it will enter the esophagus. Here in the stomach, it will be controlled by the mucus. Okay, but this mucus is not present in the esophagus, right, in the food pipe. Okay, so once more acid is secreted, it will move upwards to the food pipe. Okay, you will get the burning feel, right? Burning feel, that is your acidity, right? Next, so you know that the exit of the food from the stomach is regulated by the sphincter muscle. Okay, whenever it required, it will open and allow the food particles to the small intestine, which releases in small amount into the small intestine. Okay, next, from the stomach, the food will enter the small intestine. It is a site of complete digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Okay, in the mouth, the starch is converted into glucose in the stomach, the protein is converted into amino acids. Okay, only few things are converted into simpler things. If it is in the simpler form only, then only it can be absorbed by the blood vessels. Okay, otherwise it cells, otherwise it cannot be used by the cells. So it has to be digested, right? It has to be converted into the simpler one form. It is a site of complete digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. It receives for this complete digestion, it needs some enzymes, right? So it receives the enzymes from the liver and pancreas for this purpose. So we are having a liver, the right side of this stomach will have the liver. From this you will get the enzymes, and also behind the stomach you will have a pancreas. Okay, behind the stomach you will have the pancreas. Okay, first what this liver is producing? Liver produce bile juice and bile salt. Okay, bile juice and bile salt. You know that in the stomach what is happening? Because of the gastric juice, the food become acidic in nature. Okay, acidic in nature for the pepsin to act. Okay, but for the enzymes from pancreas to act on the food, this acidic food has to be converted into alkaline state. Okay, alkaline state. So this the bile juice and bile juice from the liver helps the food to convert the food from acidic form to alkaline form. Okay, the bile juice, it makes the food alkaline because the food coming from the stomach is acidic, and it has to be made alkaline for the pancreatic enzyme to act. Okay, next, what is the purpose of the bile salt? Okay, bile salt, it helps in the process of emulsification. We have learned that emulsification, what does mean by emulsification? Breakdown of larger fat globules into smaller one for the effective action of the enzymes, right? So bile salt helps in the process of emulsification, that is breakdown of large flat globules into smaller flat globules, increasing the efficiency of the enzyme action. Okay, by increasing the area of the fats. And next one, okay, the bile juice and bile salt will be secreted in the liver. Okay, by time being, where it will be stored? It will be stored in the gallbladder. The bile juice will be stored in the gallbladder. Okay, it stores bile juice and bile salt. Okay, next one, pancreas. So you know that liver secretes bile juice and bile salt, and whereas in this pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. Okay, pancreas secrete pancreatic juice, which contain enzymes like trypsin and lipase. What is it? Trypsin and lipase. Okay, so what is the purpose of trypsin enzyme? This trypsin enzyme break down protein into amino acids. Okay, in the starting itself we told maximum of the complete digestion will takes place in the small intestine, right? So remaining proteins, whatever present, is converted into amino acids by the trypsin action. Okay, next, lipase. What is the purpose of lipase? It break down the emulsified fats. Emulsified fat means what? Bigger, larger fat into cluster of fats, small globules, right? It break down these small clusters, small fats. You know, this lipase work is to break down these small fats into fatty acids and glycerol, further simpler molecule. Okay, so what is the purpose of lipase? Lipase can break down the fat into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, so your digestion process is over, right? Then what is the next process? Ingestion is over, digestion is over. Next one is absorption. How the simpler molecules are absorbed into the body. So in the small intestine, the same small intestine, since it is a long one, so after digestion it will be absorbed, right? Absorbed. Here this is a small intestine. If you see that, you will have a finger like structure like this. If it is absorbed from this surface, only from this point it will be absorbed. If a projection is like that, everything will be absorbed to all this side, right? So more surface area is available for absorption of the simpler molecule. So these are the villis. It will be in the walls of the small intestine. Okay. So the inner lining of the small intestine has numerous finger-like projections called villi, okay, which increases the surface area for absorption. The villi are richly supplied with blood vessels which take the absorbed food to each and every cell of the body, where it is utilized for obtaining energy, building up new tissues and repair of old tissues. Okay, so for the maintenance of the body only, we have seen all this process, right? Nutrition, respiration, transportation and excretion, right? So finally it will absorb all the food and it will take to each and every part of the cell. Okay, it is done by the finger like structure called villi. Okay, absorbed through the villi. Okay, next, after that remaining thing, once the smaller molecules, whatever it is digested, is absorbed, the remaining unabsorbed food, that is undigested or unabsorbed food, will be what it will again send to the, from the small intestine it will be sent to the large intestine. And while entering here, you will have appendix. Some waste will be stored here. Usually it is not required part. Usually we will remove this part. Okay, this is your appendix. So from the small intestine it enters the large intestine. So the unabsorbed food sent to the large intestine, where it walls absorb more water from the material. So if any water is present in that, it will be absorbed in the large intestine, and the rest of the material removed from the body via anus. So it will be removed via anus, and before removed through the anus, it is a temporary storage of feces in the rectum. Okay, here it will decompose by bacteria. Okay, so this is a temporary storage of the feces is your rectum. Here you will have the sphincter arrangement which controls the movement of the feces. Okay, the exit of the waste material is regulated by the anal sphincter. Clear on this? So this is the digestive system in the human beings. This is how nutrition in human taking place. How the nutrition get into the multicellular organism. Same 5 steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and excretion, right? Egestion. So we'll go for a quick recap. Here food enters in the mouth, where you are having the food particles are converted into smaller pieces by the teeth, and the food is rolled along with the salivary amylase rolled by the tongue, and it is moved to the food pipe, and it is guarded by the epiglottis. The food has to enter only through the food pipe, and it enters the stomach, where you will have a gastric juice which contain HCl, pepsin and what is that? HCl, pepsin and mucus. And HCl is used for making the medium acidic for the pepsin to act on it, and mucus purpose is to guard this inner lining of the stomach from the acid. Okay, then it will move to the small intestine, and it is controlled by again the sphincter there. Here the complete digestion is taking place here with the help of the further enzymes from the liver and the pancreas. from the liver you will get a bile juice and bile salt. Bile juice purpose is to make the acidic food into alkaline form, and bile salt will break down the large fat globules into smaller fat globules. And this pancreas, no, pancreas will have two enzymes, that is trypsin and lipase. Lipase is to break down the fat, that is emulsified fat, into fatty acid and glycerol. And this trypsin work is to convert the remaining proteins into amino acids. Okay, so and once it is break down into smaller particles through the villi, it will be absorbed and moved to transported to each and every part of the cell. Okay, every part of the every cells in the body, and it is used for the growth purpose, maintenance purpose and repair purpose. Okay, and from the small intestine, after absorption, the unabsorbed food will move to the large intestine, where the remaining water present in the food particles will be absorbed in the large intestine and will reach the rectum. This is a temporary storage of the feces and will be removed through the anus, excreted through the anus. Okay, this is how digestion takes place in the human being. Okay, thank you.